In less than 5 minutes. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Before we start, like I always do it, God first. So I'll just share a quick prayer, then we start. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you for today. We thank you for the life of Ashley and his family. We thank you for making it possible. I know it's by your will that this is going the way it should go. Take place of the platform and speak through Ashley as he has prepared to give whatever him to the world. And let this go a long way to be a blessing to generations upon generations. In Jesus' name, I have prayed. Amen. Amen. And amen. So, family, without wasting my time, I'm so grateful to introduce to you someone that I really, know through my friend, the maid of honor, the main boss, at her wedding. We shared so much. And I had the opportunity to visit them at their home because I didn't know Ashley so much back in those days before my friend married him. But as women, first attraction, when I saw his height, his muscles, everything, I said, ooh, girl, you've got the best husband. Without knowing his character, I was like, hey, why are dear? But upon visiting them at their house, and I saw what I saw, Ashley, you are doing a great job. Doing a great job as a daddy. And looking, back days, how you were doing well for yourself and seeing what you are doing for yourself now and what you have, the name that you have given your family and my friend, I couldn't hesitate but to let you come and grace my platform with whatever that you carry for yourself and how you see yourself now. So without much ado, I will let you take the platform by introducing yourself to everyone here, who you are and how you have, worked your way out to be the Ashley you know now. Because a youth is listening and want to be Ashley Davis. When I put a flyer out there with all your credentials and everything, someone is like, how can I get there? I'm just, an SS graduate, and look at him, what he's going to talk about. How did he get there? So please, if you don't mind, a bit introduction about yourself and why you are Ashley Davis, an engineer. So the floor is yours, please.
Okay, so just a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in England. So my background is Jamaican, and I grew up in like I would say a privileged household. So like I didn't know poverty or anything like that. Like I was in a privileged home. And one thing with me is that even as a child, I just always tried my best to just do right, and that come from with my parents, with the way that they raised me, and the different things that they taught me was to always do the best that you could, despite the people that you surrounded yourself with. Always make sure that you stand out as the person that does right. So that was just something that I always did for myself. So one thing with me is that when I went to secondary school, I never took education very serious, so I didn't do good. Like I didn't get good grades or anything like that. So it's only by God that I was even able to get into college. So I went to college, and my interest was computers. Like I liked IT. That was my thing. So in college, I was there for like 3 years. Like my first course was a GMVQ Intermediate in IT, and then my second course was a National Diploma for IT Practitioners. And it was from that last course where I could kind of tell that God like had a plan for me, that God wanted me to go somewhere and he wanted to set me up. So what happened was, it was in the class that the professor said, hey, everybody fill out an application for a university. And even though I said I came from a privileged background with my family, none of them has been to university before. So I have not seen that example of anyone going to university. My dad had his own business where he did a driving school, and then he also had a tiling business. So he was not encouraging me to go to university, because in his mind, he's like, I want my son to take over my tiling business, to, do that type of job. So I kind of just said, well, I'm not going to bother filling out this application for university, because I have no intention of going. So then that was when everyone left the classroom, and then the professor said to me, he said, Ash, like, how many universities did you apply for? And I said, none, because I'm not going. So then he just casually walked to the door, locked it, and said, sit down. And he said, you're not leaving here till you apply for at least 3. So obviously, like in today's world, if that teacher did that, like he'll probably be fired, right? But but back then that was more acceptable. So fast forward, I applied for those universities, and I still thank that guy to this day. I've not spoke to him personally, but I just thank him when I pray about it. But I applied for universities, and 2 of them got back and said no, because remember I said my grades were not good.
Yeah.
And then one of them got back and said, hey, we'll let you come in, because this was for a computer science course, a bachelor's degree, computer science. They said, we'll let you in, but they said your math grades are not good, so you have to take a maths test. So that's when I said, oh God, I'm done. I'm not getting in then, because like for me, like math, either you know it or you don't, and I don't. It's like that's not my thing. And obviously that's a difficult thing it's difficult if you're not good at math when you're doing like computer science or any IT courses. So they said, okay, you need to do the math course, the math test, and it's going to be on June whatever. And when it's getting up to June, I didn't hear from them. So then I called the university multiple times, and I left 7 voicemail messages, and nobody got back to me.
Oh.
So now fast forward, I think university is supposed to start like the 26th of September or whatever it was. And it was 2 days before it was supposed to start that I got a phone call from the university and said that we've just realized that we received 7 voicemail messages from you about trying to know when this math test is. They said, unfortunately, you didn't take it, so therefore we can't admit you to the school.
Oh.
So I said, well, that's not my fault. So then, after me going back and forth with them, me and my parents, they then said, okay, we're going to go to the dean of the school. So then now, on the day that everyone's starting university, the dean contacts me and says that it's our fault, and we're going to waive that math test, and we're going to allow you to be enrolled. Then fast forward, I graduate from university. I did well. There was one course that I had to redo because it was one that it was hard for me to grasp. But that was where I had to really dig deep and really study hard to be able to pick that one up and understand. and then I was able to graduate and everything.
Wow.
Then, after I graduated, that was where, I guess, do you want me to go into with meeting my wife and everything?
Yes, now you've graduated, okay, and I've seen you marry so early, as as a nice, handsome man like you want to let a bit, do some nice things, whatever, but you chose to settle very early. You don't have your profession, and I want us to go through that with your career, because that opportunity and the fact that you were in UK, but you decided to join my friend where she was not really stable on her feet. She's just started nursing, she's finding her feet together, and you guys were married, you were doing well, doing whatever, but you had to start all over again because
Yeah.
your wife. And that is something that I will want you to show, because most people, marriages, a lot of misunderstanding and stuff like that. So it's going to help marriages as well. And I'm so proud of you when I'm talking about that. Like, I feel so emotional because most men were like you, Ashley. Every woman will be happy. Okay, so I want you to take us through that chapter whilst you do the career bit.
So basically, the time that it came to me moving to America, so when I graduated, it was during the time of the recession, so I couldn't get a job in IT. I remember on the news, I'll never forget that in England they said people who graduated, they should go and work in McDonald's because they're not going to find a job in the field that they studied for. So that was where me and my wife's uncle, we decided to start up a business to develop websites for people. So we were doing that as just a little side hustle to make sure that we're honing in on our skills and staying up with trends and stuff. But outside of that, I worked for financial services because that was the only job I can get in mortgage redemptions with Bank of Ireland. So then when I moved to America now, I had to leave my financial services job, sitting in the office, right, getting paid good, decent money. So now I have to start over. And now the thing with America is that you start from the bottom and you have to work your way up. And when I say bottom, like you have to, you have to do jobs that you wouldn't typically want to do. It wouldn't be like a personal choice. So, I think the very first job that I had was doing cleaning. So I went from
your own finance
office. Yeah, I went from office job to doing cleaning, and not only that, it was going from 9 to 5 to like 12 midnight to 4 a.m. doing cleaning. So of course, when I'm waking up at 12 or 11 p.m. or something, and I'm looking to see my wife sleeping, I'm sure you could think of the things going through my head. I've left my family in England. I've left this job to come and do this. And not only that, it's like doing cleaning. It's one thing with cleaning, but it's another thing that you're cleaning a mechanics area. Like if you think about the car mechanics, right? The amount of mess that they cause, that I have to do this from 12 a.m. to like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and so on. So that was very tough, but then it was very humbling at the same time. And what I try to do is any experience that I have, good or bad, I try to make sure I learn from it and take some positive out of it. So one of the positives that I got from the cleaning is that I'm very meticulous anyway when it comes to things, but like my wife always laughs at me that when I'm cleaning like our bathroom and stuff, I'll get the toothbrush and like go in all the nooks and crannies and stuff like that to make sure I get every area. And like some of the techniques that they showed me with the cleaning, I incorporate it when I'm doing my own house and stuff like that. But after that, and then meanwhile, something I forgot to mention, that this is me using someone else's documents at that time as well. So that's another thing that I'm not
you were British.
British, yes, because I was waiting for my green card to be processed, but then whilst it's being processed, I couldn't work. And then my wife got pregnant. Like we had surprise pregnancy within like the first year of the marriage. So that's where it was like, okay, I have to get a job to support. So now this is a whole thing that's new to me as well, is that I'm now having to go by someone else's name. So they're calling this person's name. I'm standing right there. I don't realize they're talking to me. So it's those situations. After that, I then went to, I got my green card, and then I was able to go for other jobs. No, in fact, before I got my green card, I got another job working in a warehouse, like a factory job. So I would be doing like order picking. So I have to like go around walking miles a day, picking orders. And again, this is me coming from an office job 9 to 5, that now I have to go to these different level jobs, and working odd hours, because the thing with America,
your type is real, but doing this sacrifice, I want to cut you in here, because I say anytime, I've seen you spoke about this, I think when we came, and you were just talking about it briefly, and I got so emotional that what type of man will sacrifice, knowing that Pam is not stable. It's not that Pam was working, because we know that nurses are getting a lot of money, but in Pam's situation, it wasn't that she has started, and you have given your career because of marriage and everything, and you've started all over again. What made you do that? What made you sacrifice that? Someone was on the platform saying that that's a big sacrifice. So what made you sacrifice a lot, coming from a rich home, and after that you are working good, which I saw. You did a very lavish wedding, big wedding here in UK that I saw. So a father is here, and the marriage is about to break because he doesn't want to sacrifice this huge, leaving your job, going to start all over again. What made you do it?
Well, I mean, the main thing is love. So it's like if you love somebody, then you are willing to do whatever sacrifices for that person. So if you like, if you don't genuinely love and care about somebody, then why are you even married to the person? It doesn't make any sense. So it's like you'll see some people where it's, because even we know people with their marriages where it's almost like a competition, that it's like, or it's a they have to get their get back. That if I was sick and you didn't come to look after me, or you didn't get me some soup or whatever it is, when you become sick, I'll make sure I do the same thing to you. That's not how it works, right? If I love you, then I love you, and that's it. You're my friend for life, my partner for life. So it's the same way that you have some people that they have someone that they say is their best friend, and that their best friend, if they have an argument with their best friend, they will go and call them and say, please, I'm sorry, forgive me, all this stuff. But yet, if it's their wife or their husband, they won't do the same thing. So I've heard of people that they will be so mad at their spouse that they will like not talk to them for 2 weeks or not talk to them for 3 weeks or something, and living in the same household. To me, that means that you don't really love the person. To me, that's kind of like the marriage is kind of a transactional thing, that the only reason why you married them is because either for the sake of being married or because you know that you can get something out of it from that person.
Wow.
So that's why, and I'm not saying that it's easy. It wasn't easy because, like I said, the dirty looks that I gave my wife and the way that I was cursing her in my head when I wake up at 12 midnight to go and do cleaning and clean someone's like it wasn't easy. But ultimately that was what it was. It was love. So that's why I left my family, because most of my family are in England, and my friends as well in England. But I left them to come here. I had no desire to come to America. Like there's some people that they've always said, you know, they always dream to go to America and have the American dream and stuff. I was not interested, had no desire whatsoever. Like if you would have asked me my first choice, second choice country, America wouldn't be there.
Wow.
So that was where I said to my wife that I said, I'm going to give it 5 years. And if after 5 years, I don't get to a place where I want to be, then we're going to England.
We're coming back.
Yeah. And then unfortunately or fortunately, the 5 years came, and exactly that 5th year, that's where things just started going.
Oh, thank God.
Huh?
You would have come back.
Yeah, I would have. I was dead serious that we would be going back.
But thank you. Thank you. That sacrifice is, you know, and the answer you just gave me, love. You know, if you love somebody, you do things for the people without thinking twice. And that is what I know about love. It's sacrifice, okay? And thank you so much. I wish, you know, most men will emulate, because most of the time men want the women to always do their sacrificing. But looking at your background, I know people will just watch it, especially the men, and know that, wow, this gentleman did this. Wow. Then I'm going to.
And the thing with men as well is that, like, me, while I'm doing all this stuff, I have my friends or certain friends in my ear, like, why are you doing this for? Like Jamaicans will call them a preke. They'll say she's taking you for a preke. Like, it's like for a fool. Like, why are you doing all this for? So it's like I have all those stuff in my ears. Okay. So that's where for a man it's hard to kind of, you know, say that you're gonna sacrifice for love and stuff, but you just have to stay steadfast, stay grounded.
Yeah. And now you are enjoying. I'm so proud of the both of you doing so much well for yourself. Okay. So now we're going into that career opportunities. So now you have gotten your green card, and by God's grace, your family is growing because you've had your first child, which is beautiful. And Pamela, what was she doing, and how did you guys grow to where you are now? How did you do it?
Yeah, so with our first child, with Jaden, in that year, that was where, like, I wouldn't say that we that was my closest experience to poverty. So that, like, we struggled a lot. And the thing with America is that they always say that the middle class, like, get the worst, where you in the government side, you make too much money for any government benefits, but then in reality you don't make enough to survive. So that was where, you know, Pamela was I think she was in school and she was barely working,
Mm.
and I wasn't making much money. And then we had daycare where it was like $400 something a week for daycare.
Wow.
Then I'm only getting paid like $700 a week. So you could see where now we've got groceries, we've got rent and everything. So things were tight. So, and I'll never forget one time that we were both hungry, like very, very hungry. And at that time they were doing like stuff called the dollar menu. And we went to Taco Bell and we were there searching in the car to find change, to see if we can find money just to buy some food for ourselves. Like that's how bad it was. Because, and then this was like, let's say on a Monday, and we weren't going to get paid till Friday. So it's like all the bills just come out, because that's the other thing with America. It's like England, all your bills, on the first of the month is out. In America, it's like the first, second, third, 15, 16, 23rd, like it's just all spread out. So we were searching for change, and I think we only found enough to buy like 2 things off the dollar menu. So that's $2. So that was like the closest experience to poverty that we felt.
Poverty.
Like that I felt. And then after that, like, I mean, I managed to get myself into the company that I work for now. And that was where I entered in at like an entry level. So it was like a QA testing analyst. So I was testing software. I had no idea how to do this. This is not something that I've done before. So that was where I just went online and looked at different things. I looked at YouTube, different videos on there, learn how to test software so that when I can go into the interview, I can know what I'm talking about for the most part. One thing in America is that, number one, they respect education. So England, I know at least how it was when I remember it, they do not respect education. They prefer experience over education. If you have no experience, they're not interested. Yeah. Whereas in America, it's the opposite. If you have experience and you don't have the education, like a bachelor's degree, a master's, they'll be like, we'll rather go with the person with the bachelor's or the master's. So that was how I was able to get into this job without having that testing experience, because they seen I had a bachelor's degree. But they also respect like hard work ethic. So I went in there and I said to myself that my goal is that I need to get to the project manager level. So I said, I'm going to just continue to work hard, continue to make sure that I set a good reputation for myself. So I made sure that, everyone that I interacted with, whether they were at my level or at the executive level, director level, I always made sure that I represented myself well and that they had a lasting impression of me, that they say, that guy, Ash Davis, like he carries himself very, very well. So then I got promoted to be an IT business analyst after 18 months of working with the company. So then again, my goal is still the project manager. So that's just like one level behind now. So, continue the same thing. And now I'm working with different executives, different directors. And now one of the, he was actually a vice president. I got to start working with him on some things. And at first, our relationship was not good. Because my accent is like, who is this foreign guy and everything. But then after a while, he came to see that, this guy is actually, he works hard. He tries to make sure that he understands what he's doing, and he represents the company well.
Yeah. So
that gave me good favor in his eyes. And where that helped me is that guy had favor with the CFO of the company, the chief financial officer.
Yeah.
So fast forward, the next thing that happened is that opportunity comes up where the project manager that I was working with on a project, he left the company abruptly, and this is during COVID time now. So then that same VP guy that I said to you that I got a good relationship with, they said to him that, oh, this project manager has left. So then his response was, well, as long as Ash Davis doesn't leave, I don't care. So put him in that position. So then that was when eventually the CIO of the company called me into his office and basically was saying, this is a good opportunity for you. It'll be a promotion. We're going to give you a big salary boost and put you in this position. So then now, fast forward to 2024 now, the latest thing that has happened is where now I've been promoted to be the manager. So I am an IT manager now, where I manage 13 project managers. And where I see and I forgot to say that this is all God's favor over me. This is what God's favor is. And how this promotion happened is that the previous manager left the company, and they had, before that manager left, they had 3 people who were team leads, right? 2 of the team leads got promoted to a manager, so that they wanted 3 managers. They skipped over the 3rd team lead and gave it to me. Now, if that isn't favor from God, then I don't know what is.
Wow.
So, and where my boss, the director, came to me and he said, we all sat in a room, all the executives in IT, the directors, and they all said, who shall we give this promotion to? And he said every single one of them said my name. Wow. So yeah, that's why I know that my wife, she prays hard. So, and that's why for men as well, treat your wife good, because look at that.
Yes.
They skipped up. So like I said, 3 team leads is already there. 2 of them got promoted to manager, and then they skipped over the other one and gave it to me.
Wow.
As the 3rd manager. Now it makes it awkward now, because now I've skipped over him, and it started off a little awkward and rocky and everything. That it's like, now I have to face this guy that he's thinking to himself, how is it possible that other people who are leads got these promotion, but then this guy I'm the lead over him, but then he skipped me. But fortunately, we've been able to work it out and stuff, but it's still a little, I'm being careful to not be, too much in the early stages.
That is favor, and I like what you said. Treat your wives right, because if you treat your wives right, things better come.
Yeah, especially if you have a prayerful wife. My goodness.
Go Pamash. So ladies, let's be prayerful, okay? Please.
Yes, pray for your husbands, and then men have to pray for their wives too.
Yeah. I think it's just to get the person out. All right. So, Ash, I'll let some people open the questions for them to ask some questions before we come back to continue. So we've got 20 minutes. Please, if you have a question, you can bring it down there. Any encouragement, you can unmute yourself and give it to us. Let me see if we have some questions.
Hi, Ash.
Hello.
You probably not remember me or anything, but I know you, Ash. I am very, very happy to hear from you today. As I said, I do know you, but I didn't know anything about what you just said. But this has actually multiplied the respect I have for you, honestly, because what you've just said is not something just anybody will just wake up and take it upon themselves to actually do. And what I would say is, keep pushing, keep going. Don't ever stop. I know that you'd have people telling you, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like you just said, your friends were making fun of you and everything. My sister right here, Pam, is a good lady, and so are you. And I think your union was meant to be. You got a beautiful kid. You got good things going on for you right now. And I'm just proud of you guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Abrefi. Thank you so much. Abrefi was on your wedding day. Maybe when you see her face, you might. She's
Okay.
one of us. Yeah, some good friends. Yeah. Abrefi, thank you for that. Anybody, I can see Lovely's mic is on. My sister.
Yes.
I want to come to you. Okay, Lovely.
Okay, so what I want to say is we thank God for everything that He's done for you guys. And the part that you said, it's good to have a prayerful wife and all that. It's also good to have men that appreciate the fact that their wives pray for them and the prayers are working. So you are such a good man for having that. So we thank God, and that's what I want to say. That is good that you appreciate your wife, and it's good. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So, everyone, that's my sister. Okay, Lovely. Thanks for coming on and appreciating your wife. It goes a long way. Today, I made a video. I was just, thinking about what to say today for Diana's Diary. The short videos that I do, and appreciation was what the Spirit of God was telling me about to just share to people. Because most of the time, I think, Ash, the things, the effort that you put in to bring a smile into somebody's face, and after that the person feel entitled and don't just come back to say even thank you. Especially God, He laid down His life for us, and people take it for granted. It's like, oh, He just did that, but so many people are bitter and don't want to help again because people have tended to be so ungrateful. So, like Lovely said, you appreciating Pam here on this platform goes a long way. You are just talking about yourself, but look at how you have channeled it all through to just say that wherever that you see yourself today, it's because you have a prayer for life. Thank you so much. Anyone else? I see Philia, Mike on. Philia, you want to add something, please? Richard, I don't know, you are a man. I don't know if you want to add something to it. Richard, you've got one gentleman on. I have a question. There's a question. Ghanaian men can even go a year.
Oh,
Something
not talking.
with regards to, yeah.
Oh wow, that's serious.
Yeah, someone just said that a Ghanaian men can even go a year not talking to each other, and that is called roommate marriage. Oh,
Yeah, that's not healthy. It's not healthy at all.
It's not at all. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do
Because
that.
the other thing is the kids, if there's kids involved, they see that. So that's one thing I really respect with my parents, that my parents got divorced when I was like 8, but I didn't see like even when they did have arguments, I didn't see situations where they stopped talking to each other. I saw situations where they sat down and spoke.
Yeah.
And kind of aired their differences.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very important. It's very, very important, like you are saying. In marriages, one thing I've learned is that you don't have to be right to say I don't want to apologize because I'm right. Whether you are right or wrong, be the first person to say sorry. I learned that, as nurses, when you're on the ward, I speak to those people, like when you come and you have the wedding ring on, your husband is sitting by you. This is what I do. I say, what really makes your marriage? Like, you've married for 50 years, you've married for 45 years. And I tend to, because when we are going to talk about marriage, it's something broad, and people are dying because of marriages. If you don't marry right, you are in trouble. Yesterday, I spoke with Alberta, by God's grace, and people are going through a lot. So as young as 10 years old in marriage, I always want more. I want to learn from people. And when I ask them, the one thing that stands out all the time is forgiveness, being able to forgive quickly and saying sorry. These are always from the white people. All the white people that I nurse that are, successful in their marriage, they don't go a day not talking to each other, regardless of the conflict. We have disagreements in marriages, but one thing that works for them, and as I talk to them, I apply it in my marriage. Whether my husband is wrong, he is right, I always take the initiative, and by God's grace, he's doing the same thing. Sometimes he's like feeling guilty. I wasn't expecting you to say sorry, but it was difficult for me to come, and I went and said it somewhere, because now he's saying it before me, and that's how marriages should be like. Please, we shouldn't go a day without being at peace with each other. Married people, it's very, very important. Okay, so Ash, I want you to continue, because we've got the opportunity. We want you to tell us more. Anybody with a question? I have something to share. Oh, okay. Mrs. Davis, the platform is yours, please.
Hi, Lady D. Hi, Ash. I wanted to share, because as Ash was just, I was just remembering some of the things that to kind of fill in the gap of basically the transition from him moving over here. So I want to share that basically I feel like everything in better sense or better choice of words was God ordained, because he didn't say this, but initially before we got married, there was discussions, and he originally wanted me to move there. But I prayed because I had just moved from Ghana here, and I didn't want to move. I wanted to establish. I just felt like there was better opportunity here for me than in England. So I prayed to God, and I remember the prayer that I prayed to God was, God, if this is what you want me to do, to move over there, then let him keep saying that, oh, I want you to move here. But if this is not what you have plans, you are the one who knows the future, let him change his mind. And surprisingly, I was just there, and he told me that he's thought about it, and it's better for him to move here because of my career choice. He feels like nurses are better in United States than in England. And that is when I knew for sure that this was the right man, because he wasn't thinking about himself and how his comfort, he was comfortable, he had everything planned. The only person I had here was my sister, and I wasn't even done with school yet. So it would have been a matter of, okay, I just move and go. But he sacrificed. And I think it was God. He's the one who knows the heart of man. Yes.
Wait. So when Ash came, you were not working, you were still a student?
Yes, I had just finished school and I hadn't taken my boards yet.
Ash, God bless you.
Yeah, I guess I missed that out, but I made sure that I saved.
And some money was coming.
No, I
No, I
literally
made
had
sure
just
that I saved money to carry us along.
Okay.
But it only carried us so far. But even that is a miracle in itself, because it's like the amount of money that I needed to say, okay, to support both of us, I'm gonna need a certain amount of money. Plus, I had my big BMW in England as well that I was giving to my mom, and I still had financing to pay off on that, so I had to leave money for that as well. So it was someone that was at the church that said to me, write down all the numbers of every amount that you need down to the penny. So I listed every single thing and put the money I needed down to the very penny, and they said pray over it every night. And I prayed over it every night, and then just randomly money just started coming in. Oh, I owe you this money. Oh, you overpaid on this, here's a check for this. And then I ended up getting the funds that I needed to be able to go over there. And because the thing is, even going over there, she has to prove that she can support me. So if she's not really working, she's not going to be able to provide that proof. So that's where I had to show that, I have this money that is going to be able to support us for a certain period of time.
Yeah. So basically to say that it has not been easy at all. The story he was saying with the Taco Bell, we could only afford 1.5 Taco Bell. It was $1.50 that we could afford. And we couldn't buy 2 Taco Bells. We ended up buying 1 and we shared it. But it was all because I feel like God was in it, because, finances are something that really breaks up marriages. But because of God and because of the love that we have for each other, we weren't, spiteful. Sometimes I felt guilt that I made him, leave everything behind. And I know that there were times that he was angry. He was really angry that he left everything behind to come and be with me. He wasn't bringing anything to the table, but we persevered. And I think that it was all God. God was the only reason why we made it through that very difficult and one of the things that I wanted to share was, every time I've been very ambitious, with education, and he wasn't somebody that would say, oh, because I've not gotten to where I am or whatever it is, so you need to stay behind or whatever. But he was always pushing, very supportive. Whenever I came with something, he always said, okay, well, what can I do to help? And one of the things that I say, him having the favor, yes, I'm very prayerful, but I think that when you have a good heart towards your spouse, when you have a good heart towards, the people around you, I feel like God also elevates you. He looks at your heart and he elevates you, because some of the testimonies, like, it does not make sense. When Ash came, he didn't go back to school. He didn't do any certifications or whatnot. But whenever there was any kind of promotion or increase in salary or whatever, I always say this: never in a million years did I think that he would be one that makes more than me. But yet it has been one after the other. And like, I'm always the one saying, oh, okay, since you have money, give me some. But it was supposed to be the other way around, where I thought I would be the one supporting him. But yeah, God has
just turn around. Wow. This is great. This is great. I'm so delighted that you both can share this to us in our time of marriage like this. That nobody wants to sacrifice. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice at all. Even whilst they are making it. An example is it's okay. It's okay, but you know what? Ash, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because I want you to also, how you support Pam when it comes to, child care. When we came there, Gideon was like, Gideon is very supportive. My husband is very supportive. But with you add a bit of touch. He was like, consistently, you are doing it. And how in the morning you bring the boys down, how you care for your wife. Guys, Pam, am I allowed to say them?
Go ahead. I guess. I don't. I'm used to it, but go ahead. I'm listening.
So, guys, Ash is, I think every marriage, because we are here to make life better. And it's not all about somebody is going to school, we need to, help the person go to school. Hey, like Pamash said, Pam, thank you so much that you said God is involved. We need to pray about our marriage. The husband that you are going to take, because Pam, you are also beautiful. You had so many chasing you back in those days, and you always tell me that you prayed, and God gave you Ashley, and it's so visible. Anybody comes that comes to you and encounter the marriage that you are enjoying, girl, you deserve it because you are worth it. And Ashley, because today you are on my platform by God's grace, and I know most men will learn, like friends. You spoke about friends. Many a times that men are helping their wives and their friends comes and intrude and they stop. Meanwhile, who suffers is the wife. I thank you that you didn't stop. And this is what I wanted to say. Even you supporting your wife, your kids, what Gideon was telling me was that you take the kids to extra, activities. You are serving your wife in bed in the morning, getting food upstairs to her, making sure that she's okay. Ghanaian men or Africans, I don't know. I've not seen it. Gideon was so amazed. Okay, and well done to you. And with the support that you give my wife, and always trying something new to make the environment conducive. Like when we were watching the movies, most men wouldn't come, even if it's not an interesting movie. Ash, you were there, enjoying it with us. And I've come there, even though you've seen me before, you made sure that it's Pam's family. You are entertaining, us. And this is it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And I just want you to tell us how you do it so effortlessly. I don't want you to say because of love. I want another thing.
No, I mean, it's a testament to my dad, really, because I seen an example. So, my dad was always, even with my parents being divorced, but before the divorce, my dad was always there. Me and my dad, every weekend we used to go on bike rides, and we used to ride like from Bristol to Bath and stuff. And then me being a kid, like he would hold the back of my bike and be riding with one hand as he's pushing me along with him so that I don't have to pedal. So, seeing that example was good for me. And that's what's good for most men as well, when they see a good example like that. Even like where there was times if I was younger and I would disrespect my mom, and then my dad will come to me and he'll say, hold on. He said, do you ever hear me speak to your mother like that? And I said, no. So he says, so what makes you think you can speak to my wife that way? And that's something that always stuck with me. So now to this day, with my son, I say the same thing to him.
You come back and you ask them, you question them, you say, can you speak louder? What did you just say?
Yeah. So it's like my dad was very tough, firm, but then he was very loving as well. And he showed me that example. So that's the only thing I can say, is that it's just a testament to him. And I mean, that's why I would say to all men that, you know, you want to make sure that you mold your sons to be good, decent human beings and show them an example of how things should be. And that's the same way for the daughters as well.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Uncle Obi, do you want to add something, please? You can I'm trying to add him. All right. There's so many, you know, questions down there. People are blessing you, Ash. So let me say, let me just go through a bit whilst, you know, we wrap up. When God is involved, someone said, wow, this is very inspiring. Wow, God bless you both, my peeps. Mr. Davis, God bless you. God richly bless you. Bah, you are awesome. Absolutely. OBGA, she said, good to see you, lovelies. Amen. He sure does. Good job, Diana. God bless you. Oh, someone said, I love it. And very inspiring. God first. And wow, powerful messages. Thank you. I'm here for Mr. Davis. Oh, Sister Grace, thank you. God bless you, Mr. Davis. You're doing amazingly well. You are 1 in a million. Oh, why do you say that, Mommy P? 1 in a million. I'm bringing you on. Okay. I want you to tell us why he's 1 in a million. Anybody? Ash, you saw, you know, I told you guys, getting Ash on this show, you hardly see you know, men being so honest with themselves. So honest. I can drop for her to come up. I think P said, I just got number 1. No, I will be back soon. Okay, that's fine. Dickness Maggie, you want to unmute yourself and just say something? Please.
God bless you. God bless you, Mr. Davis. God richly bless you. I would just want to say, all I see there, as what Sister Pamela also said, is God. Because when God is at the center of everything in our life, you know, as she was also talking, I just got a pen. The thought that came in my mind, I just wrote it down, and I wrote down, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and in all your ways acknowledge Him. I think all the glory just be to God, because once we trust in God with all our hearts and in everything that we do, if God is at the center of everything, when we put God first, our testimony will be wowed, you know, and everything in our lives will be just so effortlessly. So we'll just give all the glory to God. And well done, Mr. Davis. And another thing also that I also picked is the upbringing, because our upbringing, it's what mold and what shape us to the way we do things and the way we behave. Mr. Davis says something that he sees his dad, you know, does. That's what he also emulates. So I would also encourage us, even if we know most African men, we have been seeing all the comments, African men, yes. But we can also firstly put God first, and then the way we bring up our children. God have blessed me with boys, and I always say something that I have to also make a difference, because when we talk about African men, and God has blessed us with, male children, we can make it right. We can shape them in the way so that by the time they also get married, the woman that they will get married to will bless God. So when I want to open the door, I train my elder son, open the door for me. Let me come in, be a gentleman. Sometimes when we go to the restaurant, pull the chair out and let me sit down. So that's the training. I'm sure by the time he also grows, or he have his own wife, he will know what to do, making breakfast in bed, treating a woman right. So if we can also, the upbringing that we give to our children, to also make it right by the grace of God, putting God first and bringing our children in the way of God and training them right, it will also make a difference in people's life as well. By the time they also grow up and they go into the world and they start having wives, they start having, kids, they start having, their own family, they can also shape things and do things right, so that that circle, we are breaking generational curse, let me put it that way. So that circle of African men, we can stop it. God bless you, sir. God bless you, ma. And we pray that the wine in your home will continue to get sweeter and sweeter in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Oh, it's been a very...
But one thing I want to say, that I don't want it to make it sound like I've been some angel throughout the whole process. So
we don't care. What we just heard is enough. Even if you have been a monster, whatever. Ash,
I've evolved. That's the main thing. I've evolved.
Okay. And you want to share a little bit about that?
I can share a little bit. So I've evolved where I used to have a very bad temper. Okay. So that was something that I evolved. And part of my triggering with the temper, especially in the marriage, was with communication and finances. Wow. And that was where one day, and I think this is where it really clicked for my wife, that I said that I didn't get a psychic degree. So if I did something that upset you, you can't just assume that I know that I did something to upset you. The only way that I can know I did something and to apologize is if you talk to me and tell me about it. So that was where there started to be more conversation. And then that was where, we were able to understand each other more. And I was able to evolve and kind of get rid of that temper side. Also, growing up, like, I used to hang around with some bad crowds of people. Mm-hmm. Some people that did very, very bad things. I wasn't involved, but then I was part of that group. And this is where, this is another testimony of God, of where God kind of planned that, I need to be where I'm at today. Okay. Is that I was, this was where I was at college, and I went to see some friends, and we went to go and eat some food. Okay. And some other friends were outside the food store, and the police pulled up and said, "Stop and search." And these friends, they were all drug dealers, but I wasn't involved in that. But what I didn't know is that one of the friends that I was in the food shop with put a whole bunch of drugs in my backpack. So then when we came out and the police is there, everyone's lined up to do stop and search. I have my backpack and the police officer looked at me and said, he said, what's in your bag? And I said, just my school books. So then he was asking me what course do I study and everything, and I told him. So then he looked at my face and he said, all right, you can go home. So then I left and went home. And that same night, the friend contacted me and said, hey, I need to come to your house to come and collect something. So I said, all right, come. And that's when he took all these large bags of drugs out of my backpack. And he told me that the reason why he put it in my bag is because he knew that the police officers would not suspect me as having those drugs. But then I said, but what if they did? With that amount, I could have been arrested. Yeah. And then if I would have been arrested and have a criminal record, it would be a very tough journey for me to get to United States, to come into United States. So that's where I know that it's God that, you know, intervened in that situation to protect me so that I did not end up being arrested or anything.
Wow.
So I only shared that with my wife like a couple of months ago, and she was very upset. And she found out that one of those guys were actually at our wedding as well. So
happy with it. But communication is very important. Share that as well. Yourself. You're not telling yourself. You're not telling. Okay, I've muted them. Hello? Why? My echoing. Not so much. Okay. So communication is important. And that if someone doesn't talk to you or communication, it's something that you will be, and I like the fact that you brought it up, because things shared is a problem. Is there a problem? Problem solved. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Grace Woman, Auntie Tina. I've added you, but I don't know why it's not coming.
Not sure where.
Okay, guys. Time is fast spent, so so much. God bless you. And I know that if not even one, a lot of people. And God bless you so much. I hope you do the flag. You come here again and tell us your journey of the housing and supporting my friend B, the doctor that she is, and you getting yourself wherever you are. You get deeper. Something is echoing. I don't know much about TikTok. You all pardon me. I wanted to read all your messages, but okay, you are echoing. Doctor, I know, but I don't know where I did. I wish I could send it and come back. Unfortunately, I'll figure out. So Ash, please, I want you to give the shout out. Let people watch Diners Diary. I know you are doing. Why should people watch Diners? and end it.
They should watch Dinah's Diary because
Why? Because you made me do this.
I did suggest that you do something like this, yes.
Yes.
And I think you're bringing people on that are giving good gems of information, and I think it's always good to have a platform where people can collaborate ideas and stuff, where people can give their input, they can ask questions, and it's like a judgment-free zone. So I think it's very good. And I mean, we should always be looking to learn from each other and see how we can evolve as people, and then how we can, implement that in our own daily lives as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You guys knew that I went to US and some people just see so much. It was like, so Dinah's signature came about because she's becoming cook, and Christmas, do this, do that, do this, and those that set up this diary, I'll bring them all out. Just leave me to do it. You're supporting me. And Ash, thank you so much for bringing the best. Everybody needs a friend like you. Everybody needs like you. Someone who is sacrificed. Someone who puts in all the effort to make the home happy. And a friend that everybody wants in their life to be blessed in life. Thank you for coming. Bless you all.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. We appreciate you. Next week, Monday, we are talking about, the I want us to know tomorrow's evening. I'll start sharing the time in the US and Ghana time, because I think people get confused with the time. So please, on Tuesday, because I'm serving you, somebody just brought it up. You can't just. So please, let's all come. It might not be you because you don't have to, but you might have to talk to that person, and it will go around. God bless you all. I love you all. Thank you. Oh, a gentleman wanted to help. I think my uncle, and he said, "Why is it ending?" Okay, let's hear his last remark. The gentleman coming. So, Uncle Obi.
Anita, Dinah,
Uncle,
how you doing?
because I haven't heard anything about him.
All right. Thanks a lot, everyone, for supporting Dinah's Diary. Honestly speaking, I wanted to talk much, but I think I'm gonna reserve it for Friday, because I believe I have a program with you on Friday, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna reserve most of the comments for Friday, most of my things for Friday. But trust me, Diana had always wanted to do this. She has given, let me put it this way, she has paid her dues as a nurse practitioner. Now she want to pay her dues as a presenter. I couldn't have possibly think more of it than this. You are truly a blessing to everybody, especially your family. I know your sister is right here supporting you.
Yeah, lovely.
Lovely. This is a wonderful day. This is a wonderful time for me. I am glad and I'm happy. I wish I heard all about the gentleman up there, what he said. I was driving, so I had a divided.
I'll put it on YouTube, Uncle. I'll put it on YouTube, but if you had heard, maybe you could have added something. I'll put it. I'll try and post it on YouTube before Friday. Someone asked the time that you are coming, and it's 7:30. If you want to join, I'll share the post on my TikTok page. I think it's there. Obi Green.
Absolutely. You guys were talking about, I believe, marriage issue, right?
Yes, it was about career, how he sacrificed for his wife, to move to the US whilst he had his own job, he was doing well, and they had to start all over because the wife even had not even, started working in school. So for him to give up all his dreams, join the wife, sacrifice, and he did that because he did love her. That's a big deal.
So I know. Listen, marriage is all about sacrifice. Because imagine this. Let me just put this one 5 minutes and then you can close.
Okay.
Imagine this. You don't know the person, right?
Yeah.
The person doesn't know you. Right there, both of you have sacrificed to come together. Sometimes you have an opposition, you will have an opposition that's coming in.
Of Abby.
People, especially friends, might tell you that, hey, this is not the best person, you got to let it go. But
Yeah,
trust
he
me,
did say that. He did
I'm
say
telling you.
Yeah.
So trust me, it's the sacrifices that we all make that move the marriage to another level. If you cannot sacrifice, don't ever think of marriage, because it's not all roses. Sometimes it's hard. You have to let something go before you can achieve something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you sacrifice the marriage and it gets to a certain point that you are actually getting the good part of it, that is
I
what
want to
you
go. Yeah, same with you.
that is where you actually started feeling the marriage that you are married. So let me put it this way for you. You're gonna sacrifice yourself. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there are some times most of the ladies or whatever it is, Anita, let me give you an example how my wife sacrificed. Do you know my wife never ever lived in a compound house before? Yeah, she was living in one of those houses in North Central.
Yeah, I knew you were from a rich family.
That was a self-contained. She has to sacrifice and come to our house. You know it, right?
Yeah.
And look at our the kind of bathroom that we had.
Yeah.
Look at the kind of what was it with a closet? The heating that we had over there. He sacrificed to come over and live with me. You know what I'm saying? So
marriage is
when the time comes for me to do the sacrifice, I also reciprocate. That's how come we have come far to be where we are right now today. Both of you right here are living with us. You know what I'm saying? It is not easy to live in a Bantima compound house. It's not easy. You witness it. It's not easy.
Yes. Uncle,
So,
people want
please.
to join your party, so don't share it all here. Friday, please. Don't share it all here.
All right. Let me leave
We will
it.
let you do it.
We will continue.
Because you have to think about yourself. Yes. Thank you.
All right, Mama, let me hear your voice. I hope you're good, right?
Lovely.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend, and thanks to you all. I'll leave you there. Thanks a lot.
Alberta, we want to hear you. You said you want to say something real quick. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay, please?
Yes.
All right, let me be real quick. So I really want to take a moment to applaud Mr. Davids for his courage. So much grace in sharing his story, because I haven't really heard him speak for this long. And so this is my first time, even though we are all in Cincinnati. And this is just so inspiring. Like, seriously, and thank you for being real. Thank you for letting others into your journey. And this is just Just amazing. But let me tell you guys a little bit about Pamela, Mrs. Davis, right?
Yeah.
This lady, I mean, is such an amazing soul. You know how you can just see people's hearts, you know, really in your palm and just say, oh my goodness, she's one of those people that have very good and genuine heart. Pamela is always happy for everyone, always ready to help people, always showing kindness. You know, she's always leaving a mark. So I'm not even surprised that God will make sure that whatever she needs in a husband, that God has provided. And so you know, I wanted to remind everyone that God is truly a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. And listening to Mr. Davis, you know, Mr. Davis couldn't do everything he was doing if Pamela wasn't a good person. And I want to tell you that because sometimes the way some of us African women will talk back to our husbands, you know, in their low moment, I pray that and you know, and I pray that God would help us all learn from this. You know what I mean? When I was listening to all this story, I was just here thinking like, okay, she is such an amazing soul and she deserves every good thing in this world. And I'm glad that Mr. Davis is a bonus. So never stop being you, Miss Pam. The world needs more light from you both. We see you, we appreciate you, we celebrate you, and I'm just so honored to be on here to listen to your story. I'm inspired. God bless you.
Someone says, reap what you sow. So Pamela has sown and she's reaping. So ladies, you can't just get an Ashley on a silver platter. It takes a lot of effort. And thank you for keeping that in. Thank you so much. God bless us all. You don't want us to go, but we have to go. We'll come again.